Alright, so the questions in the comments are starting to pile up. It's time for another Q&A. This will be Q&A video number 34, and the first two come from free animals. The first one being, what's a better training split, upper, lower, or push-pull? Now, I understand that anytime anybody asks me a question like what's better or what's the best, they're asking under the impression that all things are equal, but all things are not equal. The human element is the most important element. Therefore, anytime anybody asks me a question about what's better or what's the best, the answer will always be, it depends on who is asking, what their goals are, and what their preferences are, because they're going to work hardest at what they enjoy doing the most. In this case, it's not that one is better than the other. They both have their pros and cons, but you can't ignore the human element. Now, the next comment comes in response to a video in which I was explaining the benefits of alternating between high neurally demanding workouts and low neurally demanding workouts. Basically, it's a more sustainable way to train, and he who trains the longest gets the strongest, but the comment was this. Basically, this is just a form of concurrent periodization. Well, not exactly. That's an example of someone who's insecure, trying to attach meaning to coincidence to feel more secure about themselves. If you want to call it that, call it whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it's more than that. It's a strategy. And the term strategy comes from the battlefield. It has to do with how you deploy your resources. In this case, you're deploying your resources to train in a more sustainable way than if you were to go 100 miles an hour all the time. Now, the next two comments are pretty much fucking useless, but I'm going to address them anyways. They come from a guy whose screen name I believe is pronounced Insar Sehran. The first one comes in response to a series of videos I did on cortisol. The question, why cortisol? The answer, because it's fucking important. That's why. The next comment, please upload a video which is not Q&A, came in response to me doing a bunch of Q&A videos in a row, and here's what kills me the most. If you don't want to watch a Q&A video, then don't fucking watch it. I'm transparent with the way I post these videos. It's not like I use a different title and then you click on it and I'm answering people's questions and that's not what you wanted. It says Q&A in the fucking title. So if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. A comment like this is as useless as it gets to me because it gives me no insight in terms of what you would rather have me talk about. So instead of writing a stupid fucking comment like this, either be more specific or don't bother at all. Now, the next question comes from a guy whose screen name was not legible to me. I think it was written in Arabic, but I did understand the question. It was, as it relates to the biceps and active insufficiency, which head, the short head or the long head, is affected the most? Now, the answer to that, who the fuck cares? It's not going to change the way your body performs or the results that you get. So why the fuck does it matter if one head of the biceps is marginally affected more by active insufficiency? It doesn't fucking matter. The next question, what are the benefits to performing top range partials with your curls? Well, depending on where your strengths and weaknesses lie, by modifying the range, you impose a demand on the muscles at a very specific range or length. So if that's a weakness for you, maybe that's something you want to do. If it's not, maybe you don't. The next question comes from dabarber. He wants to know if I think that strength equals size. No, I don't think strength equals size. However, I do think that strength will facilitate more size to be built. And then Gillis wants to know my opinion. Do I see any value in focusing on external cues for primary exercises and internal cues for secondary exercises? Is there any value in that? I do believe there's value in that, but it depends on who is asking, what their goals are, and what their beliefs are. If they believe that is magical, they're going to work very hard at that, and they're probably going to get a good result. If they don't, then they won't. It's really that simple.